Here's a updated workflow using CS5. And like I said, what I do is I drop them into a directory, a studio directory. I come up here and you can say computer and you can pick that directory. I've got it on a 3 terabyte external drive. Should be in studio. And I put them in here typically by date, sometimes by name. Find some shots here. Here's Rachel. Okay, when they are shot, they might be a little bit off. Like, that looks too light. So I double click it, bring it up, and you can see that the histogram's peaking here, which means it's too bright. And what we can do then is either reduce the exposure, see how the histogram comes down, and do that. Now she looks much better. You can still make her a touch brighter, a little too much. Contrast, fill light as desired. You can even crop as desired. And then say done. That's where we like it. So we're going to say done. And then that one will now be modified that I just changed. And if you want to do that to this one's too light. And so that one's too light, and that one's too light. You hit right click on the mouse and you do develop previous conversion. That's the conversion we just did, and it will adjust these with those same numbers. Let's go down here. Let's find one that doesn't look the best either. So that one again is overexposed. We can see it here. So we're going to bring the exposure down until that histogram looks good. Going to adjust the brightness up just a hair. She looks quite a bit red. So what we're going to do is decrease both sliders. That corrects the color. More yellow if we want, more saturation if you want, or less. But the main thing is to get her in a good overall color and exposure and all that. So we can say, yeah, we like that. And then we say again, with the adjustments that we just did, all these numbers, we do done. And it made the change. You can see these others are still too bright and washed out. So by clicking the first one, holding shift and clicking the others, you highlight all the like images. We can come down here and pick more because there's more that are alike. And then right click and say develop previous conversion. And if you watch them, they will all adjust and change to the settings that we did on that first one. Now, other poses, the main light gets moved, so they might not be in the exact same settings. So if we say develop previous conversion, it might still pretty good. This one looks like maybe it was not adjusted at all yet, so we're going to do that. We're going to right click. I'm going to do develop previous conversion. And you can see that it's using those basic settings on all of these. And as you go to different poses, like these here, it's quite light. Let's do this. I may have had, looks like I added the reflector in her eyes. I may have had the main light a touch closer, but we're going to do develop. We're going to do previous conversion and see. It corrects it better, but maybe not dead on. So we'll bring it up and maybe tweak it just a little bit, less of that. And say, all right, we like that. I like vignetting, so I put that on there. And then we say done, and that image now just was affected by my settings. These are still washed out. So to apply those same settings, because all the lighting and everything's going to be the same, we go to all like shots, and all of these are pretty much shot at the same time, just different expressions. And I can right click and say develop previous conversion, and if you watch these, you'll see each one just like that. It's done. It applied those settings to these, and it's a good way to prep all your raws at the same time. Let's try this one. Different pose, quite dark. Shadows are pretty blocked up, so we're gonna lighten it a bit. Let's put some fill light into the shadows. color looks good, but the way I do color is I slide it till it looks too yellow, definitely too yellow, right? I back it off until it doesn't look too yellow, and then I adjust the green pink. We don't want her to be too pink, we don't want her to be too green, so we find the happy medium right about there. Exposure where it comes over to the right side of the histogram but doesn't peak up, and we can say, all right, that's a good basic setting there. We're going to do done, and it will correct that. It just did that right here, but you can see the other like poses are too dark, so we can click that and that, do the same thing, develop previous conversion, and it will convert all of those to the same settings. This one's too dark. Scroll up. That one's light, so this is the last of the like settings. These are all a little dark, shadows are heavy. I'm going to do develop, previous conversion, and look at them just pop and lighten up. Once you're all done with doing that for the whole session, you can run a couple of different apps. One of them is image processor. I use Studio Zap, it's called, and it will convert all of these into JPEGs that you can use for proofs. That way you don't have to manually load in each one. Otherwise you would have to load it in. It will let you tweak it a little if you want. So I like that better. And because they're in raw format, so we're going to do a open. There it is. It's in Photoshop now. And the only way to then convert that, I mean, you can retouch it and convert it. And then you would do file, save as. You save it as a JPEG, which is what it's set to do here. And you put JPEG in there. And then you say save, and it will ask you how much quality. The maximum quality is 12. The file size will be 3.2 megabyte. If we bring it down here like we do for PortraitNet, we want it to be smaller than 300K, so we slide it. 477 is too big. 372, it would need to be in about this area to upload it on PortraitNet, but 4 is pretty low quality. So in this case we would want to save it as probably 12 so that we can edit it and use it later. To put it on PortraitNet, you would do image size. You drop the size to about 900, which is that size, and then if you do a save as and you go to save that to PortraitNet, I'll put a PN in there, do a save. Now you can see that a high quality of 9 is 300K, so that would then be size to fit on PortraitNet. If we go up here, it would be better quality, but would be too big to go on PortraitNet. So you save differently if you're going to save it online for Facebook or PortraitNet. You keep the quality higher if you're just going to save it on your drive to show clients later. And that's pretty much the basics of it.